Analog horror is something that I tried to like.
I tried. I really did.
I love the worlds that are presented in these videos. I don't know how people manage to get lore out of these, but from the lore that I've heard from different videos by people like Mr. Mirage, I found them to be extremely interesting and compelling. For example, the Monument Mythos. And then when I watch it, it's like it's like a slideshow, you know? People talk about these worlds like they're so deep and intricate, like it's the greatest thing you're ever gonna watch, and then you watch it, it's just a series of it's like a slideshow or a scary picture gallery. It's just a series of okay photoshops that are supposed to be scary. How am I supposed to care about your monster, your villain, if I don't get to see them in action? Now, there are obviously exceptions to this. I found that I really, really enjoyed Vita Carnus. I enjoyed, what was it? The Boiled One Phenomena. And I very much enjoy the Five Nights at Freddy's tapes. Today, I want to talk about why I just really can't get analog horror. Now, as I've said before, these worlds, they have some of the most nightmare scenarios I've ever heard of. Things like Gemini Home Entertainment, and the Monument Mythos, and the Nixonverse, and Basswood County, and Mandela Catalog. But then when I watched, for example, Mandela Catalog, which I think is the worst offender of these, it's just a series of goofy looking pictures. It's a slideshow. Analog horror is all style and no substance. It's just like they'll just kind of black out somebody's face and then just kind of like take like that thing you do in Photoshop where they'll just like a closed mouth and they'll cut it here and just move it up and down. And it's just like it's so dumb, you know? It's like, yes, let's take another for example, the Boiled One Phenomena. I did enjoy that one a lot. So I watched the Boiled One Phenomena, and yes, it does have a lot of the same just, still image with, no style, but they work. Dr. Nowhere, I think the person's name was, they put work into making the Boiled One feel more unique. Even small things like you get to see it rise out of the corner of somebody's eye, or you get to actually see its mouth move, and things like that. And for Vita Carnus, I think this is what should be people should strive for is it blends found footage with the analog horror to make it feel like these are real tapes warning you about these Carnus, and the live action segments really feel like real encounters. And I think that's something that's really missing with analog horror. Is analog horror is like I don't want to watch a bunch of pictures. If I wanted to watch a picture show, I would go watch an AMV. I would watch one of those like Super Saiyan 1 through 1 billion videos set to Linkin Park. I want to see your monsters. I want to know why I should care. You know, they should do more found footage mixed in with analog horror, because as it is now, majority of analog horror, like 90% of it, is just like boring. It's just a series of bad photoshops and you know goofy pictures I'm supposed to be scared of. The presentation of analog horror just feels lazy. I think more analog horror needs to do things like Five Nights at Freddy's VHS tapes and Vita Carnus, and by that I mean incorporate, like, I don't even care if it's like sprite work, like kind of like the Sonic.exe games, like incorporate some sprite work or some SFM animation or some found footage, you know, put some substance behind that style, because these worlds are so unique and catastrophic and absolutely like Lovecraftian scale. Like, it's almost like a lot of them are almost like cosmic horror. It's like the inescapable fate. But then you watch it, and it's just a bunch of bad photoshops and poorly edited pictures with some spooky text to speech over it. Why should I care, you know? And so I think they need to start adding more like animations behind it, because as of now, analog horror just feels lazy. It's something I really, really, really want to like because it's so cool in concept. But in the execution of it, it's just so bland and generic and copy and pasted. None of these series really feel that unique or different. It's just, they all feel like carbon copies of one another and like they're not doing anything unique. Analog horror just kind of feels like back in the day when they would do like Slenderman Photoshop competitions, except those were good because they were meant to just be photos. But I don't know, it feels like they aren't willing to put in the amount of work that it would take to make me actually like your villains. But that's all I got for this one. So if you liked it and want to stay up to date with daily horror content, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell. I'd greatly appreciate it if you disliked, share it with a friend or group chat so you can make fun of me in my stupid video. See you on the next one. See ya, Space Cowboy.